Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary, for your very important remarks and support and work you have done for this conference. Now, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we have come to the end of our conference. I hope that as you all go home and to your communities, you leave with a sense of pride in what you have accomplished here, and with a renewed optimism and determination to face the challenges before us. Your voices have been clearly and loudly heard and reported widely. Thanks to the public program initiated at this conference, there has been an unprecedented amount of media coverage by both traditional and new media outlets. I would like to thank Neil Byrne and his team, as well as the many NGO media organizations which have been instrumental in making this possible. For our part, the United Nations has mobilized all of our available resources, press releases, UN radio stories, our news center articles, webcasting, interviews, and press conferences, as well as new media, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr, and so on. As a result, your voices have reached far and wide in every continent of the world. I would like to congratulate you on this very great achievement. Your call to action and declaration is a clear statement of your messages and concerns, and of the urgent collective action that is needed to improve the health of millions of people, children and mothers. This declaration with so many important recommendations, this declaration needs to be channeled to the governments of your countries and into the intergovernmental process to have impact on the summit in New York. For our part, the DPI, Department of Public Information of the United Nations, will do our utmost to distribute this document as widely as possible using our available tools and communication means. I have no doubt that you will use your own channels and means to impress upon your governments that these recommendations are so important and they should be implemented. I also hope that each and every one of you, as the torch bearers of this conference, will take what you have learned here back to your organizations and communities and help us to raise awareness about what's at stake. Your advocacy plays a major role in holding governments accountable for honoring their pledges and communities, their commitments, and upholding their responsibilities to protect their children and people. I would like once again, on behalf of the United Nations, to express our deep thanks to all the NGO representatives from Australia, the Asia-Pacific region, Africa, Europe, the Americas, and the Middle East for the time, resources, and commitment that you have devoted to this conference, the first UN event of this size ever to be hosted by Australia. This conference has been very, very well organized. I'm sure you agree with me. You are all good friends to the United Nations. You are our greatest allies and partners. A very sincere thanks again to the Government of Australia, the principal sponsor of this conference, the Victorian State Government and the Melbourne City Council. Thank you also to the diverse peoples of this city, Melbourne. We have been deeply touched by your warm welcome. Thank you very much, Melburnians. I also want to say a special word of thanks to Professor Phil Butterham and his amazing team, who have been working with us so closely for nearly a year on the many different aspects of this conference and all of its associated events. I particularly want to thank Phil for introducing the public program to this conference, which added a dimension that we have not had before and brought into our space those young people that we would not have attracted otherwise. I thank all of our UN colleagues for their excellent support to our conference and to our team. Particular thanks go to the security officers of the UN headquarters and of the United Nations office in Bangkok. Thanks to them, we have been safe and secure. I would also like to thank all of the many volunteers and interns for their very hard work and energy. We could not have done this without them. Last but not least, a special thanks goes to my DPI colleagues, Eric Falk, Maria Luisa Chavez, Gail Bindley Taylor-Saint, Sol Oka, and the entire DP NGO team in New York, and Chris Woodthorpe and his wonderful team in Canberra. As Mary just mentioned, this is the last DPI NGO conference for both Eric and Sol. We all wish them good luck, good health, and the success of your career. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Sol. Dear friends, what a wonderful, wonderful conference it has been. The United Nations appreciates your dynamic energy, creativity, and continued commitment. Together, let us make a difference for global health, the MDGs, and for a better world. As you know, this year, Mexico will host the 16th session of the Conference of Parties, COP16, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This meeting will take place in Cancun, Mexico, from 29th November to 10th December this year. I have been asked by the government of Mexico to extend the invitation to all the organizations interested in climate change and environmental issues to participate. Dear friends, many of you will go back to the battleground and camps of the fight against poverty, malnutrition, diseases, inequality, and discrimination. You are going back to those places to save children, pregnant mothers, refugees, and people in dire need. We are cognizant of the urgent need of the international community to continue to extend help to the millions of people who are suffering from flooding in Pakistan. In many places of the world, people are needing you. We wish you all the best, good health, and the continuation of your good work. As Jeffrey has just informed, we have received and accepted an offer by the government of Germany and the city of Bonn to host our event next year, and we are very grateful for their generosity. We have with us here in Melbourne a 3-member delegation representing the government of Germany and the city of Bonn, and 2 representatives of the United Nations Volunteers Program, which is headquarters in Bonn. They have come to Melbourne to begin their work in preparation for our conference next year. How well prepared they are. So, ladies and gentlemen, until then, Bonn next year, farewell. Farewell. We will meet again. We will meet again next year in Bonn. So, I now declare that this wonderful 63rd Annual United Nations DPI NGO Conference successfully closed. Thank you.